Hi, welcome back to all of you beautiful souls out there watching these. Getting straight to the topic, I want to talk about the worst thing you can do for yourself. Admittedly, I don't know if it's just one thing and if this one thing is what I want to say, but there's definitely a lot of things you can do, which would be, the worst, but going through this period right now for myself and you know living through it and recognizing that I'm acting this way. um, I want to point it out, acknowledge it, and maybe someone's also having, going through this whole thing for themselves, so this is kind of a reassuring, let's say, video. So what is it? The worst thing you can do to yourself? Um, well, as I said, I don't know if it's the worst. So it kind of, rings a bell when I say it out loud. But what you shouldn't do, or I don't know if it shouldn't, but when you care so much about one person, whether that's you love them, whether that's, you know, someone outside your family that you just really care about, um, where you get to the point where if you don't talk to them, you you just feel depressed, you feel consumed. If you know that you will be talking, let's say, or meeting on Wednesday, let's say, a random day, um, you get excited for that day specifically, but something might happen, you guys don't meet up, you get even worse, you get more depressed. When you speak, everything else does, is whatever, doesn't matter to you because you're talking with them, you're communicating, you're with them. um, so yeah, what I'm trying to say is, what I'm honestly talking about is feeling like you're in love with someone. um, but it's not exactly that. It's it's something beyond that. It's more strong because I've talked about love on this channel and I want to talk about it again because it's a thought that keeps evolving in my head. But um you know right now I'm in this kind of scenario for myself where I just care so much about this one person. If we don't talk, if we don't meet, if we don't this that, I get completely drained. I feel like there's no purpose for my day. There's nothing I can do, nothing I should do. um, if I see them, if I talk to them, if I don't even know, but if there is a glimpse of them in my day, then my whole day is a lot better and it helps me keep going. um, it's just a very weird thing. I get jealous if other people see them or talk to them or anything. I can't deal with any of it. I want to be with them 24/7, and it's, first of all, I know it's impossible. And when we do talk or meet, it's so fulfilling. Whether it's 10 or 15 minutes, let's say, it could be enough for me to be happy again. But then again, after meeting, uh, when we part ways, I feel like a part of me is dead. Like, okay, now what? There's nothing I can do. Um, it's just, finding a person like this is very difficult. And when, obviously they like you back if there's this back and forth, but if they don't have the same emotions as you, for each other, um, things just end up very badly in your head because you know you give more than you take, you will never take more, and you're just enclosing yourself in a situation that you can't escape because you don't want to escape it, because you want to give it your all, you want to try, and yeah. um, so by talking about it, it's becoming more obvious that yes, it's love what I'm explaining because what else would it be? And I'm afraid to admit it, even though I'm quick to admit to love. Um, but it's just a rough situation. It's the last thing I need in my life right now. There's too much happening. Well, not really, but there's a lot of stress in my head about all sorts of things, and now having that also as a thought is just the last thing I need. Um, so taking it one step at a time. I think that what is important is to realize, for anyone who might feel the same, is to realize that, hey, what I'm doing, yes, I love this person. Yes, they're great. It's the most delightful thing that's happened to me. But I also have to take care of myself. And how can someone love me back, or have such emotions for me, if I'm always so depressed when they talk to me? Not when they talk to me, because as I said, I'm always super joyful. um, you know, who would like someone who's so depressed and this and that? So I don't know. It's just that you have to realize where you're standing. If it's a thin layer of ice under above a river, or it's an actual foundation. And in this case, it's it's the river. Um, so you have to take care of yourselves in all aspects. Honestly, take care of your health, care of your mental health, and that's how life is. But this especially is such a difficult matter because you have to decide what does less damage to you. Would it do less damage to me if I stop talking to them because my mind is free of it, and I'm not dependent on that person, because that's what it is. You're dependent on that person, um, feeling that dependency. Or is it the joyfulness and the happiness that you get when you talk to them? I've decided on the latter, that it's more important to me, because I don't do much in my life right now. I am quite miserable on what I do on a day-to-day basis, and it's hard to get out of this cycle. So sure, I punish myself more by doing this, but there's no real way out, and I just have to try and see how it goes from day to day. And it's a kind of hope that I have inside of me that keeps me going for this, thinking, well, maybe I can make something out of this, or God knows. But yeah, this is the whole thing for today. It's, I was gonna say very amusing, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Um, but yeah, if you are also feeling this way, please take care of yourselves. Don't end up like this, and everything will be fine, I'm sure. No closing thoughts today. My brain is empty, and so are my days without her. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but it's true. Anyways, have a great one, and I'll see you all whenever I see you all.